Everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to look at the paths of yoga. A distinction here, so the paths of yoga aren't styles of yoga. So we're not looking at the distinction between Ashtanga and Yin and Vinyasa and so on and so forth. We're looking at the different paths that get you to experience what the tradition and the practice is offering. So if we look back to what we discussed last time around, we said that yoga, the term means union. And essentially, the heart of it is about creating a sense of union within ourselves, within others, or connection to other people, and in fact, broader than that, the world at large. But there are many ways to achieve deeper and richer connection. First one is Raja Yoga. So this is often referred to as the royal path, as in the Maharaja, the great royal. So this is a path of meditation and mastery of the mind. Now, if you've ever been in a practice where you've used breath control, where you've done things like body scan or breath awareness meditations, anything where you've used techniques to try to calm the mind down and center it and to focus on it, then you've been engaging with Raja Yoga. It's really concerned with mental discipline and helping you and helping us create a higher state of consciousness so that we experience a deep inner peace. Next, we'll come to Tantra Yoga. So Tantra Yoga, I would say it's seen as the path of ritual and energy. They're quite ambiguous terms, so let's dig into it. Tantra itself as a term, lots of different definitions because that's the way the Sanskrit language kind of really works. The one that stuck for me was to weave, with the idea being, think of loads of different strands of beautifully coloured cotton, and they all weave together to make one beautiful, complete tapestry. That's what Tantra as a practice is seen as. Now, the word has lots of misconceptions around it. In the West, it's become synonymous and very connected to sex orgies and different sexual, ritualistic practices. And there's something in that, but not the way in which it's presented in the West. That isn't Tantra Yoga. In India, it's seen sometimes as like black magic or secretive practices that touch on taboo subjects. In truth, Tantra is a vast, broad of practices that has a very distinct philosophy. The idea that everything is interconnected. There isn't any separation. There isn't a separation between me and you. There isn't a separation between us and nature and the earth and the universe. Everything, to a degree we can't fully cognitively understand, and maybe even that we can't fully feel and experience, is interconnected. Everything is part of one whole thing. Now, as a practice, Tantra hugely or has hugely influenced modern yoga. And in fact, much of what we now call modern yoga is at least in some way influenced from Tantra. Even some of the ideas, if you've heard of things like the chakras and the vayus, if you've heard of Kundalini, those are terms that are more associated with tantric practices, more esoteric and mystical practices, but they come really from Tantra. Tantra hugely influenced yoga and gave it this worldview about embodiment, about using the body as a tool to understand ourselves better, to find our place in the world, to connect with one another better. And importantly, this idea that there isn't a separateness, we're not alone, we are all in this together, we are all connected together. Now that brings us to Hatha or Hatha for the purists out there. Hatha means force or effort. Sometimes it's been retranslated to mean sun and moon, but that's, from what I understand, quite a modern interpretation of it. Still lies within what it's trying to do. Hatha can be seen as a flowering from Tantra. So Hatha yoga is body yoga, posture yoga. Pretty much everything that you see out there now, Ashtanga, Yin yoga, Vinyasa, everything we said at the start, is really under the umbrella of Hatha. It's using our physical body, using physical practice such as breathing techniques and kriyas and bandhas and many other things that we use to either elevate our energy, to cleanse the system out and clean us on a physical, energetic level, to enable us to focus our mind and have a greater sense of awareness. For me, the idea is that if we can raise our level of awareness, if we're less influenced and disturbed energetically and chemically from the things that we eat and the things that we digest from the world around us, then we can be more present with where we are right now and therefore make more informed choices of what we should do next. What do we need to bring into our lives to find more joy, more growth, more connection to the world? All of that is on offer in Hatha Yoga. But think of it as this: body yoga, posture yoga. Then we have Karma Yoga. So Karma Yoga is the path of selfless action. So it's more than just doing good things. It's definitely not doing good things for good things to happen back to us. What a terrible way to explain it. So it's not this. This is the distinction. Sometimes we do good things. We support people. We're generous with people. We're kind to people, and we love people. And when that isn't reciprocated, when we don't receive it back, we feel hurt, we feel angry, and sometimes resentful. That wouldn't be Karma Yoga. And it's completely normal to feel like that. That's the human condition. That's how we are. Karma Yoga is truthfully, honestly, open-heartedly, that you can serve somebody else without any expectation or want for anything back. And it's the idea that you can find yourself, you can find purpose and meaning in life from serving others. It's a really challenging path of yoga, but I would say to some degree we all engage with it from our day-to-day life. Next we come to Bhakti. So this can be seen as a further step from Karma Yoga, and from my experience it's the most challenging one for us to truly get, for us to truly understand. Bhakti Yoga is the path of devotion. Again, like Karma Yoga, it's one on the surface of it sounds dead easy because it's the path of love. It's about being love-centered, and we all like to think of ourselves as people who practice Karma Yoga and serve and support others. We all like to think of ourselves as people who live open-heartedly and with pure love. In reality, it's the most difficult thing to do. It's the most powerful thing, but it's the most difficult thing to do. As a practice, it's often expressed as singing. Think of not just mantra and what we associate with yoga, but gospel music and different forms of religious music, or even, I always think, opera music, music that is really emphatic and very emotionally driven, that feels so large, as big as life itself. There's rituals and chanting and prayer, or just really simple things. Living life more heart-centered, more focused on love. And without sounding cliche, love really is our highest power. If you think of all the incredible technological feats that we've been able to do as a species, I include myself in that, we, as though I've done any of this stuff, but our species, humans, have been able to map quite a lot of the universe, build the most incredibly technological things, and even the machinery that we've been able to create. We can put tunnels, we, me included, can put tunnels under the ocean. Our species has been able to create the World Wide Web. Do we still say the World Wide Web? The internet. We've done incredible things. And yet all of that, the most mind-bending things that have been achieved, at least for me, and I'm pretty sure you're the same, pales into insignificance when compared to one act of kindness and love. Now, the most beautiful thing of all of these different paths are that, to some degree, we practice them all. They're all interconnected, as yoga is teaching. No matter what path resonates the most for you, you're likely to find that you're practicing elements of all of them in there. So if you come to a yoga class, then you're going to practice Hatha Yoga, the postures, the breathing techniques. You're also going to engage in some form of Raja Yoga. Your teacher is going to guide you to become more mentally attuned, more focused. There'll be elements of meditation in there. If you come to practice and your teacher will guide you to set an intention, then that intention is usually based on Karma Yoga, how you can interact with the world, how you can bring greater gratitude into your practice, kindness, service into your daily life. When we start to connect with the breath work, you're practicing Tantra Yoga. You're starting to shift your energy, you're elevating your energy, you're balancing it out. So all of these aspects begin to fold into one another. They're not separatist paths. And again, that leads us back to that beautiful thing of yoga. Yoga is about interconnectedness and trying to weave different ideas into make something that's much more holistic, much more whole. It's a practice of assimilation, not a practice of dogma and isolation. And by practicing yoga, it just keeps that in the forefront of our mind, that we are not isolated, we're not alone. We are part of this big, grand, beautiful thing that we can't fully comprehend, we can't fully cognitively understand, but we can feel it. We can feel that we're part of something. And that, for me at least, brings me great peace, great joy, and also great purpose in my life to be at my best and try at my best. And it inspires me to continue on the yoga path. Thank you for listening. As ever, be well, my friends. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I will see you again shortly. Take care.